So, quite a lot has happened here on Matariki Park since our last video in Way the Hunter, between doing the missions live on stream last Monday and aging our Melanistic Fallow deer. We've been able to significantly upgrade our trophy lodge. Not only were we able to take down ghosts from the story missions, and yes, if you didn't know, you can do that. I'll link a video from Mel's Gaming in the top right. She goes over when and how to do that in that video. We also got the 5-star mission sandbar, and in the process we had ourselves an albino 2-star mature whitetail. Since then, we have had 2 trophies, a 5-star Himalayan tar and another 5-star Stika deer, and that has led us to this point. My belief, if I've counted correctly, our Melanistic Fallow deer is now 11 years old, and the next cycle, it should be time to try to take him out. So that's our guy right over the hill there. He's a 3-star mature now, and over the course of the last couple streams, we did identify just a couple of asymmetries with his rack. Although he's really evened out and he looks really good for a 3-star, he's obviously not going to get to 5. 12 is the peak age for male fallow deer, but I think regardless, especially what he's looking like now at 11, he should look really good. But we've got a lot to do in the meantime, lots of managing and herds to check on. So we're going to do that, try to pass an age cycle today, and hopefully we can take down our first Melanistic Fallow. So we saw in the intro there, we were able to take down another 5-star Himalayan tar, and there's a bunch of promising ones really all around the map. And I wouldn't say that's exactly unique to our map. It seems pretty much everybody started off with really quality tar genetics, but I still want to go ahead and try to manage these to the best of our ability, and we're looking at probably that 2-star mature as the best thing to take out. So he's actually kind of out in the open. We'll probably go ahead and try to drop him with the 308, and the plan is going to be kind of go through tar, chamois, feral goat territory in the early going here, and as we get later into the day, at least go and check in on some of our sandbar and Stika herds. Now, they live both species to be about 20, so it's less of a pressing matter, but there's a couple of good ones that I don't want to kind of let fall by the wayside. And I mean, we know up here there are so many good quality tar. Taking out a 65% or a 2-star mature like this should only serve to get us better ones in the future. So that's just up here north of the campsite. Might as well go check the one by the cabin as well. Now you might be able to tell, we are not at the lake that I talked about just north of the cabin. And the reason is, there's insane Himalayan tar genetics there. I think everybody probably knows that by now. But it makes it really tough when everything is promising to pick out a call animal, unless there is either a 5-star there or something obvious, like a 1 or 2-star mature. It's almost just a matter of waiting because it's so difficult to pick out, you know, uneven antlers or something like that on a red deer, because with tar, even uneven horns are really tough to spot because they just aren't that big. So for now, just getting some management in for our Himalayan tar, and therefore in theory we can produce more 5-stars in the future. So we're going to go ahead, move up into the mountains up here. Lots of tar up there too, but we may try to focus more on feral goat and chamois because our tar genetics there don't look as good, and we've got some really good spots. I think our time will be better spent on other stuff that we don't have as good of spots for. Now I am, and frankly kind of have been confused about this particular goat. He's a 1-star adult, but we used to have a whole herd here, and I don't think it's a matter of them being in their rarely used zone, because this guy still shows up. So we're gonna take him just to kind of see if anything happens, because for a while now, several age cycles in a row, nothing else shows up here. And we had, I think at one time, a 4-star that obviously died of old age, a couple of 3-stars that have been in this herd. It's a good one, I think, one that could potentially produce future trophies, and yet we're kind of just stuck with this guy wandering around every single time. So I don't know whether or not that's going to help us, but at 53%, no doubt it does not hurt anything whatsoever. Now as for chamois, I kind of like what I'm seeing up here. We've got a 3-star mature over on this side, and they live pretty long as well, so there may be some hope for him. That tar over there is just out of spotting range, but it doesn't look half bad. Probably a 2 or 3-star. He's definitely not a 4 or 5 or anything, but maybe one with potential. And then opposite, we've got, I think, a pretty good management chamois somewhere over here. There's a 2-star mature, and then this 1-star mature that I think we're going to go ahead and try to take out. We lucked out with, I believe, a 5-star chamois that was basically an initial spawn. Probably a 3 or 4-star when he actually, spawned on the map. But after some time, we were able to take him down as a 5-star, and that remains our only one. So I want to get some more. The only way to do it is to get up here and manage some of these things. So hopefully that will help us out. And then also hopefully, we don't have to wait too long, because I think that chamois is going to have to float over here. So the answer, by the way, is that, yeah, it's going to take a long time. I want you to see the pace this thing is moving at, and consider it had to come from all the way over there. It's taking forever, and we still can't quite claim it. There we go, finally. First shot was good enough, by the way, but I wasn't 100% sure because he did kind of turn. Second shot didn't actually do much, but that was a 35%er. And I do think, despite the fact that we could go and do some more management, we're going to go ahead and rest forward to about 4 p.m., so skip about 3 hours. And we're going to go and check on some sandbar and Sika spots. Now, sandbar deer, even before we got our first 5-star from the missions, were one of my favorite species on this map. But the more we kind of manage these herds and the more big ones we see, even though a lot of these are super uneven and stuff, the more I'm interested in trying to get a whole bunch of 5-stars for the lodge. But that 2-star mature, I think is going to be the best one to take out. Like, everything is to some degree uneven in here. There was a 4-star in this herd, but I think he probably died of old age. So that one, hopefully will go to benefit the future offspring. And you may recall, I don't know if it was the last video or maybe the one before, there's another herd down here that may even be the specific stag I'm talking about. We had a 3-star mature that had turned into a 4-star. I don't even, maybe we passed an age cycle since I last checked on him. He looks really good. So real quick now, because I want to go and get a closer look at that guy. Double lung this one at exactly 160 yards. He's a 63%er, which I think that's encouraging anyway. That probably means those couple of 3-stars are at least higher than that. And we'll see one of these days if we continue to work on this, if maybe we get some 5-stars coming out of this spot. So that must be him there. Oh, he is a 5-star. I thought, that's crazy. I thought I'd check down here. I am so glad that we did come down here, because here's the thing. I believe in aging the Melanistic Fallow deer, we're to the point where one rest passes another cycle. Now, I can't say for sure this guy's at his peak age, but he might be, and we might have lost out on him if we had just rushed to one more age year to get the Melanistic Fallow up to 12. I cannot wait to try to compare the two. That's amazing. That is incredible. I think he's got a completely separate frame too from the one that we got in the missions. I would say almost certainly he does. So you can't call sandbar, or I'd probably try to call him in and take him with the bow. That went pretty poorly with our first 5-star Sika. I want him to turn just a little more broadside, but I can't say I'm not enjoying. Oh, that's kind of cool. I can't say I'm not enjoying getting to see that frame. That feels doable though. I think we can punch through that shoulder. Did we though? I don't think we did. Oh no, that got him. Definitely got him. Boy, it sure doesn't look like a lot of blood. I'm actually going to go over and look at that first. Glad that it did punch through. Got a lot of trust in this Dire SM12, but I don't know. For a second there, it looked like we really messed up. So I don't know, maybe like we only saw the raised bit of blood on that rock or something, because it just didn't look like enough blood where it would have been vitals. Clearly it was, though, and it actually didn't look like, because he started stumbling so quickly that he would have went very far at all. I don't see him laying there yet, but I doubt he made it out of this riverbed. And indeed, just across the basically creek that runs through here now, he did end up crashing kind of in the shade, but the vast majority of the rack is visible. Maybe we can come up with a decent photo here. Still, unfortunately, it does have part of that tine buried, but I think that looks pretty darn cool. One of my favorite deer species in the game already, and now our first kind of official 5-star, as the last one was a guaranteed spawn from the mission. So we actually went just behind the shoulder, which probably helped us, in all honesty, because that did not even touch the right lung. It kind of got into that cavity in between and just had no energy left. So that was probably pretty key to not hit the shoulder. He was a 91%er, so hard to say would he have had one more year or not. 453, so I want to see, are they a 455 star then? Because one thing I noticed, I think it was with that Himalayan tar, I think it's supposed to be 465 for 5-star, and he had been a 458. So as for the sandbar, 460 is supposed to be 5-star, and yet he was still shy of that and made the 5-star mark. So I'm not sure if it's a glitch with the score or a glitch with what's actually making 5-star. Either way, that guy made it. I think we're going to place him in the lodge, and because I at least expect a lot to happen here when we rest, we may not worry about the rest of our other spots for Sika and Sandbar. So, yeah, I kind of think I'm going to go ahead and take this Sika deer down, put him in the entrance next to our other one, and then add the new 5-star Sandbar here. I love these. I call them pedestal mounts. They really look super good, and I think this even works because it's got them looking 2 different directions. Yeah, there's a huge difference between like a 450 something, whether he's supposed to be a 5-star or not. I'm gonna assume he should, and then I think a 491 or something like that. Definitely still the better looking one, but our first one that actually spawned randomly, and we get to take him as we're trying to age things up for our fallow. So real quick, we'll do the other Sika mount here for now, and I think it's time to rest forward and see what happens. So there he is, out there in his full maximum age glory. He is still a 3-star. I thought there was a chance that was a small 4, but even still, all things considered, our first mellow fallow, not a bad looking one at all. So wind is decent, though strong. 42 feet per second is a pretty significant crosswind. I think we're actually going to cross the creek here and try to get it basically directly in our face, so that at the very least we don't have to worry about messing up our shot. But that, for what I thought was maybe a future 5-star when we first spotted him, and then ultimately he became a 2-star mature and uneven, I'm really happy with where he ended up. Like the frame of that, he's super wide set. He looks like a really fantastic fallow. So I kind of got a little closer than I meant to. Only 140 yards away now. He is a little bit uneven, but like not in a bad way, if that makes sense. I like it. Like the palm is kind of turned inwards. He looks pretty darn good. So the deer collar is actually the proper one to bring them in. We're going to need high fitness, I'd imagine. If he's sub 50%, he'd probably stay a 1-star. And it looked like he kind of moved as if he was going to come in. We may need to call again, but that's what I wanted to see. That kind of straight on view. You had no doubt like uneven antlers, but that's an awesome looking fallow buck. I mean, just, I never get tired of these moments right here when we watch something age for so long and then we finally get to, you know, see what it ends up as. It's some of the coolest stuff that we experience. Oh my. That was really cool. I wanted to maybe try to catch him mid-call with the camera mode. However, I had it obviously not on pause to let him walk at us, so that wouldn't have worked. It looks like he might do it again. Just in case, I'm going to be ready for him to do that. 35 yards and closing, and I may let him get all the way in to where he stops for the call, just in case he does that same thing, because it should be really soon. And he's also, yeah, he's not going to do it again. He's at about 27. I think it is time, before he ends up bolting, see if we can get him there. I think that should be a good shot. He's not stumbling yet. Did we hit low? That may not have been the result that we were after. Oh, we must have hit low. Oh boy. Now we gotta go and try to find him again? That did not exactly go to plan. I wonder, he should have been right at 27. I wonder where that hit. So, we had that Sika deer come all the way into something like 50 yards and then immediately flee. We managed to avoid that once. We got him into range and got him to stop and took the shot. Didn't work out. I really hope we don't have to worry about that on top of it, because we're using the bow. I don't care what happens now. We've taken a shot with the bow. We gotta get him with the bow. Okay, thank goodness this is the herd, because I've chased them in some kind of half circle. They ran this way to begin with, and I think I got around them by accident trying to figure out where they went. Spooked them again, and they came down here not terribly far from where we initially spotted him as a 1-star adult, but we're gonna try this again. The wind is worse, so that probably does not make this any easier, but hopefully this time, maybe if we can get him in broadside or just make a better shot, we can finally seal the deal. Now, of course, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to come into the call. I'm probably going to give it one more try, and I'll let it run to the center just in case. But this may end up being a bit of a spot and stock scenario. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that we've hit him once. I don't think that affects anything. But the most effective way to spot and stock is basically really kind of short movements and then stopping for a decent amount of time in between. So if this doesn't get him coming our way, and I sure don't see any reaction to indicate that it would, I think that's going to have to be the move. We're going to have to really slowly make our way into, I don't know, 30? Not that worked good before, but at least he's broadside right now. I don't know why, but I try to call one more time, and he actually is coming in. So the wind is really bad. I think we'll see what happens, but 30 yards might kind of be it again because I don't want him to flee like the Seeker deer I mentioned. He's at 43 now. He's going to stop here in a second, but I think I want him to try to get a little bit closer. So when he does stop, we're going to hit one more call, and we're going to try to get ready for this. There's a little bit of a right crosswind that we'll definitely pay attention to. I think we'll come to full draw. He should be around 27 now. Actually, that's perfect. A little bit like that helps. That is a little more like it. I'm not gonna lie, I was really concerned we could have something bad happen again. That was not an easy job by any stretch to figure out where they went. Like, they were way over there in those trees, and it was only sound analysis. I hadn't seen him since he disappeared over by the creek when we first hit him. So I'm gonna be really intrigued to see like what actually happened, because I felt good about the shot. And I'm curious, you know, if we somehow hit like maybe just barely along or almost in between the lungs, because it was front on. And I think since he's sort of hidden in the grass, I'm not gonna be too worried about like the perfect photo here, though we are sort of accidentally blurring River's face. So something like that will work, because we can always go back in the trophy lodge and get a photo with the mount. And I cannot wait to see what that turns out as. So, first shot, it was, yeah, we clipped the lung kind of with some cavity damage, but it was too far to the side. We actually hit like every rib. So close to actually dropping him right at 30 yards. The second shot at 28, frankly, was, what happened? I guess this is, so we did hit the lung just fine. There was cavity damage up to this point, and then the liver as well would have been actually a fatal hit. So in the end, a 73%er, Melanistic 3-star mature fallow deer. What do you end up as? 399.9? Is 4-star 400? Because I wouldn't be surprised if it is, and that would be a little bit of a bummer. I don't think it really changes what the rack looks like. It would have been cool to have the 4-star rating, so we're going to tax that. I'm trying to think. So we were facing, yeah, kind of like this. But no, I thought we had the wind more in our face. I think we just aimed too far right. I don't think the wind was actually the reason that we did hit too far over and mostly got the ribs. But let's jump back to the lodge and finally place our fallow deer. Also, for the sake of it, 409 is the 4-star rating. So it's not as if we were 0.1 away from having a 4-star fallow. And I've had a spot picked out for him for a while. Right in through here, we've got a full platform. And as far as fallow deer mounts, there's a couple of options. There's the $3, calm or fleeing. And I think we're gonna do the calm one, at least for now, because we can always change our minds. But basically, I want him not in that mount, but in that one, because it's gonna be most visible through that glass door. And one day, if we can get, I don't know, all 3 Melanistic Fallow will be cool. 2 Melas and a 5-star, the Mela and 2 5-stars. That would be amazing. But in the end, he turned out to be a really great buck. kind of unfortunate we ended up having to shoot him twice, but kind of just is what it is, and one of the reasons that using the bow is kind of nerve-wracking, because that can happen. But now, through that glass door, we can still see him in there, and we are slowly but surely getting a really nice collection of Matariki Park trophies in this trophy lodge. Pretty darn cool we finally get to take him out. So even though we could go up and, you know, look for some of those 4-star tar and stuff, I think we'll worry about that at a later date. Because that is the animal that we came here for today. And even though it didn't quite go to plan, we finally got him down with a bow. And our first Melanistic Fallow deer, I think he's the exact same genetic potential, 73%, as our first albino whitetail buck back on Nez Perce Valley. Pretty cool to take him down and add him to the trophy lodge. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.